All right, so today we're doing something really important. We're going to give a company a financial health checkup. Honestly, this is a skill that's good for pretty much everyone, whether you're an investor, a student, or you're just curious about how businesses actually work. So let's dive right in.
You know how it is. You see a company that's just everywhere. It's all over the news. The buzz is incredible. But is that the real story? I mean, do those flashy headlines and huge, shiny headquarters actually mean a company is solid? Let's figure out how you can really tell the difference. The secret? Well, you've got to look under the hood. It's kind of like how a doctor uses diagnostic tools to check up on a patient, right? We have our own set of tools to check a company's financial vitals. We just need to know what they are and, how to actually use them. And those tools are financial ratios. They are absolutely the key to getting past those surface-level impressions and getting a real, data-driven picture of how a company is actually doing. So what are they, really? Well, it's pretty simple. We take numbers directly from a company's financial statements, the income statement, the balance sheet, and we plug them into a simple formula. And the result, that ratio, that's what helps us uncover the story hidden inside all those raw numbers. Now, to make sense of all this, analysts usually group these ratios into four main categories. And you can think of them just like the four vital signs your doctor would check to get a really good picture of your overall health. And here they are: activity, liquidity, solvency, and profitability. Each one gives us a totally different piece of the puzzle, right? A different peek into how the company really operates. But here's where the magic happens. It's about comparing these numbers, either over time or against a competitor. That's how you spot the trends. First up, we've got activity ratios. These tell us how well a company is using its assets to make money. So think of it like checking a company's metabolism. If it's high, they're turning over inventory quickly and getting cash from customers fast. A sluggish metabolism? Well, that could be a warning sign. Next up, liquidity. The big question here is, can the company pay its bills that are due, like right now? This is all about short-term survival. A company with poor liquidity is kind of like a person with super high blood pressure. It might be at risk of a sudden crisis, even if it looks perfectly healthy on the outside.
Then there's solvency. This one's about the long game. We're looking past next month to the next few years. Does the company have the financial muscle to not just survive, but to thrive? This is all about its fundamental strength and stability.
And finally, we get to profitability. This is the bottom line. Literally, after all is said and done, after all the bills are paid, is the company actually making any money? You could say this is the ultimate report card on its health. Okay, so to really see how powerful these ratios can be, let's just pick one of these vital signs and zoom in. We're going to take a much closer look at solvency, the one that measures long-term survival.
This visual right here, it perfectly sums up what solvency is all about. It's this constant, careful balancing act. See, companies take on debt, we call that leverage, to fuel their growth and hopefully generate bigger returns. But, and this is a big but, more debt always means more risk.
So, it really is all about balance. Too much debt can totally sink a company if things take a bad turn, but if they have too little, they might be missing out on huge growth opportunities. Solvency ratios are what help us figure out if a company is getting that balance right. So specifically, they help us answer two really basic questions. First, how much of the company is funded by debt versus the owner's own money? And second, is the company actually earning enough to comfortably make its interest payments? And to get those answers, analysts break solvency down even one more step. They use two different kinds of solvency ratios, and each one looks at the problem from a slightly different angle. Let's see what that means. So on one hand, you've got debt ratios. These focus on the balance sheet. They're asking, how much of this company is built on borrowed money? It's a snapshot of the structure. Then, on the other hand, you have coverage ratios. They're looking at the income statement, and they ask a different question. Is the company actually earning enough to cover its debt payments? See? One is about structure. The other is about performance. You absolutely need both to get the full story. Okay, so we've run all these tests, we've looked at all the numbers. What's the big takeaway here? What's the final prognosis from our company health checkup?
Well, this is probably the most important thing to remember. A single ratio is not a magic yes or no answer. Not at all. Their real power is in the questions they make you ask. So if a ratio looks a little off, the question isn't, is this a bad company? No. The question is, why? Are they investing like crazy in the future, or are they really struggling to pay their bills?
The ratios, they're just the beginning of the investigation, not the final verdict. So there you have it, a framework to look right past all that hype and perform a real, proper financial checkup. The tools are officially in your hands now, so the only real question left is, what story are you going to uncover?